Well, Jean-Claude, it's great to have you here today, and I would like to hear more about your experiences with healthcare supply chains and RFID applications, especially.
Sure, thank you.
So let's start with a broad question: what are important challenges in healthcare supply chains today?
So today is one of the most important challenges is how to leverage supply chain to reduce the overall cost of care. So hospitals are getting pressured to reduce costs, to reduce their operating costs, and as they look at a variety of places to do that. Sort of supply chain is one of those natural places that shows up, and actually there's quite a bit of opportunity in supply chain to take costs out, take waste out, and run them optimally.
That is what most of us would have thought, especially now with the healthcare cost out of control. Yeah. We would think some of that is supply chain related. Where do you see most of the waste in current healthcare supply chains? Any estimate you might have? What is the level of waste we're talking about?
Yeah. So an interesting area that has quite a bit of waste and it's a big opportunity for drive efficiencies is the area of high value medical devices, implantables, sometimes referred to as physician preference items or PPI. These are examples are sort of cardiovascular things like stents and balloons or orthopedic hips and joints, etc. The waste in that space is in the order of 10 to 30% on an annual basis, which is a really big number. It's about $5 billion a year waste estimate. So obviously you look at that number and it's a pretty good target to go after. But it's not only carried by hospitals. That number is carried by both hospitals as well as medical device manufacturers. And as such, when you look at how to tackle it, it's in collaboration between hospitals and the medical device manufacturers versus one side or the other.
Yeah, that makes sense. So that definitely should be a priority.
Exactly.
I never realized that if I heard your number, effectively almost $15 billion or $20 billion of these type of devices annually that is used.
That's a big market.
Wow, that is a big market. I know that you have been involved in applying technology, especially radio frequency ID tags, in trying to streamline and increase visibility in these type of chains. Tell us a little more about how do you see the role of those technologies and why are they so effective?
Yeah, sure. So RFID is part of the equation, but not the entire equation, right? Mm-hmm. So what RFID gives you is it gives you a very easy way to know where products are. A high compliance way, so you're not asking clinicians to run sort of crazy processes to manage inventory. To give an example, it's RFID enabled smart shelves and cabinets that can read all the RFID tagged products that are inside them. So that's a foundational technology that all of a sudden gives you lots of visibility. But again, that's part of the equation. The other part of the equation is a data network that technology can plug into that can then aggregate the data and aggregates it for a variety of reasons. One is takes it up and it gives you information, real-time information, accurate information that you can act on. You can aggregate it to share it with other partners along the supply chain. So it's not just siloed for you, whoever you are using it. And also you can aggregate all of that data and use it to run analytics on it, be able to do benchmarking, be able to do predictive analytics, and so on and so forth. So it's RFID plus a data network that RFID plugs into.
Now, for Cardinal Health, especially since you're working with so many hospitals, do you do some of those analytics and benchmarking different hospitals? Is that something that you use? You see more?
Sure. Yeah. So that's part of our platform. So our platform is effectively, if you will, a 3-tier platform, right? The hardware, the RFID hardware, RFID cabinets or RFID point of view stations that sit in the OR or in the procedural area next to the patient capture usage information. So the hardware layer feeds up into a software layer that has in it all the operational software. how to do automated ordering, get accurate inventory values, manage expirations, recalls, etc. And then that feeds up one layer up into an analytical platform that allows you to aggregate data as a provider from multiple facilities and manage it one level higher, try to look for patterns, start to create standardization across different facilities and so on.
Yeah. Actually, I'll pursue a little more this line, the standardization in the healthcare, especially the physicians are using more standardized techniques and products. And
Exactly.
that tremendous variance, a little I know for the local hospital, that has been a challenge. Have you seen RFID and the benchmarking you're doing help introduce standardization, especially for physician-preferred items?
We're starting to see the beginnings of that. So what we're starting to see is that supply chain now has the information needed to have partner discussions with the clinical side to be able to look at utilization patterns and be able to have discussions based on data and facts. And when they're setting benchmarks or setting targets, then they can monitor, both the clinical side and supply chain can monitor together, looking at the same data, what is happening and how are they doing against those targets.
It makes perfect sense. That's a meaningful discussion.
Yeah.
That makes perfect sense.